Hey everybody, welcome to the Better Wounds podcast. I'm Heather Flexer. I'm your host, and I'm doing this like get ready with me series because I'm getting ready to go on my own cosmetic love journey and getting a procedure that I'm trying not to be petrified about. If you saw my DMs, you would know why I have fear. But so I want to welcome Tai Brown. I don't know if you know her. If you don't, you should. She has just been out here sharing, educating, giving. I've watched her and had the pleasure of working with her. Um, you're a licensed massage therapist. That's how you started in this whole area, as far as I know. And then you went on to create Tosi University to help educate other people in the post-op space. And then I always mess this up, but I shouldn't. The ACBAA, but that's the American Council of Body Altering Aesthetics Accrediting and Advisory Council, or right? Am I close?
No,
I had to write it down. But really trying to spearhead and help to make sure that we are having providers out there that are well educated, they're accredited, they know what they're doing when they're working with the post-op community. And then CSL Therapy is another aspect of that. So welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Um,
having me.
yeah, I feel super fortunate, right? I've been following along, playing around in the pot a bit, and I know a lot, and I'm hoping that other people will find this and get to learn from all of this and really have their eyes opened a bit about the options that they have out there. I think social media is a wild place. And it's like such a stark contrast because like I got my paperwork, right, for my surgery and it was like here and I haven't heard a peep. So like I'm in this like very important pre-op phase and you're like flying solo.
I would thank you for having me, for hosting me in our platforms. Um I am grateful to be able to do the work that we do in CSL. But we have three audiences that we entertain through our regulatory organization, CSL Therapy. Clients who are looking for competent information, accurate information, providers raising the bar and providing a level of educational excellence. And then surgeons are our last like core demographic and audiences that we reach through our platforms. And I would love to use this moment to just really stress something that you shared and something that you said. You're looking for more support than what you, and it doesn't, there's no shade that's being tossed towards your surgical team and staff. It's just having an honest, transparent moment of I'm in this, oh my gosh, okay, what's next? And the support that a lot of clients wish they had, they're not getting from their surgical team. And it creates a level of anxiety leading up to the procedure that doesn't have to be there. And so this is where like CSL Therapy's number one goal is to bridge the gaps of surgical care to provide better medicine. And so that includes that gap that you're feeling, right, leading up to your procedure. You're like, I just want to cross all my T's and dot all my I's. What do I need to do to feel comfortable, confident, and secure in this space? I think everyone's looking for a level of security in different capacities. And when you come into the surgery world, like you should be able to move into your surgical journey. You walk into that office and you're secure in what you're doing, what you need to know, what supplies you need to have, and as much as possible, what you can expect to stay safe and get really good results.
Right. I mean, I don't think anyone goes into this journey thinking they're going to have complications or any of this stuff. Like you just kind of like are checking the box like, oh yeah, I've seen the before and after, like I'll be good. Like it makes it look so easy and we know there's like a whole process in between. But, you know, you can go in, the stronger you can go in, the better you're going to come out. And that's not just like physically, but that's like mentally and being prepared for it. In one of the other episodes, I like highlighted on the CSLtherapy.org website the patient journey, the remodeling chart.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's super important information. I know you've got like a supply list are under there as well. What other things, like if someone's getting ready for surgery, how else can they engage with CSL therapy?
So CSL is making it a little bit easier to engage with us. When we first started, most of our focus was around the professionals in the industry. And then now we're starting to cultivate a space for clients. So if you go to the website, there's a section that says for clients. And if you don't already know who you want as your doctor, we're building relationships with safe surgeons who believe in better medicine. They believe in compression, nutrition, ambulation. They believe in post-op care. And so that very first tab underneath of for clients, you can look and see who our preferred surgeons are. That list is going to continue to grow. Um, if you would like help finding a surgeon, we have consultations for that. If you want to find a provider, there's a tab where you can look to see like the providers who are in the industry instead of someone who just went and took a weekend class or some like the amount of time that you spend with your surgeon is usually just like a day, but your post-op provider, you're with them anywhere from 3 to 12 months. You want to make sure that you're entrusting your body, your ongoing care to, you want to make sure that they know what they're doing. So we've put together a list of providers who are board certified, they're trained, we check their trainings, we check their background to make sure that they're like on par to not introduce negligence into your client care. So you can find providers on there. Your supply list is there. The trauma remodeling chart, it teaches clients like the stages of an ongoing journey. You know, once you get the surgery, your body then has to heal. And it doesn't just heal in a straight line. So we have a chart that teaches you the stages of your compression, your fajas, and then if you want to evolve into a waist trainer, your stages of your post-operative care, you know, what type of massages you should be getting fresh out of surgery, and then what that evolves, it continues to evolve into how many sessions you should be getting, what are the types and the different variations of body work that you'll get, and then just what you can expect your body to do as it's ebb and flowing and having these highs and lows over the next 2 to 3 months. There's a dictionary, like we have our own lingo here. So instead of trying to all of these terms on your own, we have a very comprehensive lexicon, specific niche dictionary just for our industry to help better navigate like the words that clients are going to see on different provider sites and that your surgeons may use. Different treatments and services, what they mean, breaking those terms down. And then like the standards of care that you should be looking for are also underneath of that tab. You know, stay safe and do your best through this entire process.
So, I mean, there's just such a wide variety of clinicians that are out there, right? So you should kind of be, as you're going into your procedure, trying to figure out like you're going to need help right after. You should be kind of seeking out your post-op care provider before your surgery, which is
Yes.
key.
Like the amount of people hit us up afterwards, either, you know, I'm in Maryland. So they hit us up and they're like, yeah, I just had surgery. Like, can you come take care of me tomorrow? What?
No, yeah.
Investing in picking out their surgeon, you need to spend the same equal amount of time in picking out your post-op provider because again, you're with your surgeon one day, you know, a couple hours afterwards, here and there for follow-up appointments. You're with your post-op provider 3 to 12 months. Those first 3 months, you're seeing them like 1 to 3 times a week, right? Like you really, who's touching you? Do they
Right.
know what they're wrong provider destroy your investment. Like, this is not a broke girl sport. And so people will invest five, eight, $20,000 in their body. You need someone who knows how to help you cultivate and, move along this journey. Returning to homeostasis is the word we use. But just like as you start to heal, this isn't something that you just entrust to anybody. And while I love the professionals that's been holding down healthcare for the last like 30, 40 years, this niche industry needs a hyper focus of training and skill sets to properly take care of clients.
Yeah. I mean, you're just so vulnerable in the beginning. You can't be messing around. Like you said, people are going to can mess you up. You need someone, at least licensed, insured, skilled, trained, whatever, has some experience with the procedure that you've had in particular. And you need to be comfortable with them. Like, you're pretty vulnerable at that stage.
Like different articles for clients and providers to read, and one of the articles that I think we put out a few days ago was questions you should be asking your post-op provider, because that's something that we would get frequently, like, well, because you stay licensed and trained, what does that look like in 2024?
Yeah.
Right, around with a license. But like, I know some amazing nurses that are bomb nurses and nursing, but when they come into this industry, that information doesn't translate over well. The rest of the world knows to respect nurses and nursing and know that they're like really smart. But if they don't have this niche specialized training for this industry, it doesn't matter. They're just as qualified as someone who took a YouTube University course, or they, studied in this for 1 week. Like, there's a list of questions your provider should be able to answer for you. And if not, that should raise some red flags of, wait a minute, there's a hole in my post-op journey that I need to get some help filling.
And it always kind of makes me chuckle a little bit, because everyone, like, the safe answer is like, oh, go ask your doctor. Like, go, go ask your doctor, go ask this. And like, I'm a physical therapist, so I'm used to, just like massage therapist, we're used to like working with and on people like routinely several times a week through a whole journey. The doc literally has no idea what we're doing. Like, there's this feeling that, oh, you have to go ask the doctor for exactly what the next steps are, but that's just not how it works. They're doing the surgery, they're doing the medication, they're doing like what they do, and hopefully there's like a continued, commingling and interaction between the professions to really make everything work well together, because it only benefits the client. But like, just having the answer of go ask your doc, like, we kind of need to do better.
As you start to peel the layers back, like, it's different when you change lanes and go from being a professional and a provider in the space, and you dip into a different audience pool, and now you are the client, right? I'd love you to encourage and share things that are second nature to the professionals, but clients just don't know. And clients don't know that their surgeon, there's like skill sets, and we have scopes of practices. Clients do not know that, there's a start and a stop to everybody's expertise, and your surgeon is usually not also an expert in your post-operative care. They specialize in the op, they know the operation. But like, sharing different things, that when you move from the professional space to the client space, what are you learning that other clients may benefit from, that is just not commonplace knowledge? Like, people don't know that this type of stuff isn't taught inside of a surgeon's residency. This type of stuff isn't taught to PTs. It's not taught to nurses, right? And so like, you walk into this, like, PhDs, MDs, they got these cool letters behind their name. Any questions I have, they answer for me. Mm-mm.
Yeah. Totally. I mean, I do some work in like the post-op hip and knee type stuff, so I'm helping people get up after surgery, and I've been like, like what's that nurse saying to that client like about pain relief and stuff? I was like, what'd you say? Come again? How do you use that? It's really different when I went from like, oh yeah, it's easy, like your recovery will be fine, like as providers we're used to it. No big deal. It's fine. You'll be fine. We'll be fine. Just do the thing. Here's your sheet of paper. And then you're like, wait, I literally have no idea how to make that work when I don't feel good and I'm down. And now I'm kind of like having a hard time moving and I'm a little help. Like, wait, what am I supposed to do again? So, it's really important to have a post-op provider in your corner because you're gonna just have all these questions that come up and you can't keep calling your doctor's office like they don't know.
They don't. Um, from there's three spaces that a client is gonna go through that you've gone through, and we're gonna get to the 8 phases or the 8 stages of a cosmetic self love journey. But when we're looking at the overall journey and how to prepare, right, it'll be broken down into 3 different categories. You're preparing for your pre-surgical experience. Then you need to prepare for your perioperative. Perioperative is the day before and the day of the surgery, right? And then you're going to prepare for your post-operative journey. Perioperative, that's where your research is coming in. You're asking your questions, you're doing your checks and balances, you're getting your supplies, you're checking into your support systems. Then you move into your perioperative, your labs and clearances, those are done, right? You're cleared to get this surgery. It says that you're healthy enough to somebody's standards have surgery. What you're doing the day before your surgery, like when do you stop eating? Do you have your prescriptions already? Or do you know that you're going to get them the day of the surgery? Where are you getting them filled? Like we've had pharmacies that ran out of pain meds or antibiotics if you live in an area that has a high fluctuation of surgeries, right? So what's going to be your plan B in case that pharmacy doesn't have it? What's your plan C? Do you shake when you come out of anesthesia? Like some people don't know. And even if you've never had surgery before, Heather, is this your first time like having like invasive surgery?
Yeah,
So
I
you
only had a C-section, so that's my only experience. Yep.
so you may not know if you shake coming out of anesthesia, but what you can do is ask ahead of time, hey, do you all have warm blankets? This is my first procedure, just in case I do wind up having a shaking experience afterwards. It's calming. It calms your nerves. It soothes you, right? Um,
I know I'm
do you?
asking for Zofran because I get nauseous all the time.
I was gonna. Do you get
Yeah.
um? I just talking people and doing as much research ahead of time to know what are the questions you should be asking. I wish that I could just hug everybody in this space to let them know that it's going to be okay. And there is a place for you to go to because as a client, you should need to know everything. You should be able to stay a client and then go to a place that does know everything and to give you that security and help guide you along your way. And that's what we wound up creating with CSL Therapy. A couple other things like clients may shower the night before, but then they get into the same sheets. You just put all that bacteria back in your body. Just in your habits to have like the safest experience possible, and then your post-operative experience, changing your mindset. If I could stress anything else, it would be that one. Adjusting your lifestyle shifts to make healthier decisions and choices, and then your thoughts, they become your reality, what you're thinking. Have you ever worked with clients and they have like a really weird thought process that is counterintuitive to what you need their body to be doing?
Oh, daily. It's like I work with people, sure. You're like, what are you doing? Like, why are you doing that? Yeah.
Did you get a chance to have a pre-surgical consultation with your surgeon?
Yeah.
Okay. Was it in person or did y'all do it like on Zoom?
No, it was in person.
Um, can I ask who are you going to? Who's your surgeon?
I'm actually going to a local surgeon to me in Albany. It's Dr. Gannon. I've actually worked with a lot of her clients in the post-op journey, so like I knew her work that way. Um, so I went for a consultation and felt like what she said was appropriate to what I wanted, it meshed, and I'm going for it.
All right. Um, and since I know, I follow you, I know you, you're pretty freaking active. We'll like encourage clients to be within 10 to 15 pounds of their ideal weight, drinking water ahead of time, and you're focusing on cleansing your insides to lower your insulin level, improve your oxygen intake, so walking, making sure you're taking big deep breaths. But you want to focus on having the healthiest kidney levels, liver levels, and colon levels, and freeing up your immune system to work in tandem with your lymphatic system after you had. Now, you've had some other questions we'll ask people during their consults. So you're doing good in your due diligence. When it comes to your procedure, a couple questions that I'll encourage you to ask your surgeon. How much fat will they be harvesting? How long can you expect to be sedated and under anesthesia? Do they have a cell saver? Because you're super healthy, you may not need it, but to ask just in case. If your doctor offers it, I would we usually do recommend making that investment to have Cell Saver added onto the procedure. It just improves the body's post trauma response, and it'll take the blood that you lose on the table and they put it back into your body after the procedure, so your iron levels don't completely plummet. But if they don't have it, not all's lost. It's fine. Keep your iron up after surgery, and your vitamin C intake, so your hemoglobin is still good. One thing that I like to share with clients anytime they're getting any kind of mammary procedure, and this is just from experience because I'm an OG in this industry, I believe in fajas. Love me some fajas. They're post-surgical compression garment, right? But something that's not commonplace knowledge. I want you to measure your torso before you get surgery, right? And you're going to go from the bottom of your plate around where your sternum is, all the way to the under curvature of your genital area. So that's going to give you the full length of your torso. Average torso is 14 inches. All right. My torso, I have a very short torso. My torso is 11 and a half inches. And what happened when I had a breast reduction and lift, the faja was too long for my very short torso, and all of the fabric bunched up underneath of my boobs, and it caused my incisions to reopen.
Mm-hmm.
And horrible wound care experience. It turned into keloids, like super uncomfortable process. Knowing ahead of time your torso length will allow you to get garments that are better suited for you. They even have garments that are for like shorter torso people. And you can have a short torso and still be tall. Like your height doesn't matter. It's the length of the torso that truly matters. So you're going to measure your torso before you get surgery. Do you have any wish picks?
No, but I should. Yeah.
How you want to look is in your head. And if you have something you're going for, even if it's like, dude, I just want to look how I in
I'm
my
just
20s.
want to look better. I have some, it's like I want her to just fix what's wonky. Yeah.
Um, what those type of words are descriptive, but they're subjective to the person. What's wonky to you may not be wonky to somebody else. So having at least one visual, even if it's your 20-year-old body. Like, this is what I want you to put it back to. This is what I'm going for. People will use the words like natural. Well, even if your surgeon is local to you, they're in America, but if they grew up in Colombia, their definition of natural.
Yeah.
You're going to talk about how much fat are they going to harvest during the surgery. Do they have a lipo limit? Is that limit based upon my BMI or based upon the limits of the state? And some people may want certain areas tweaked more than others. Just having more detailed conversations about, fat harvesting in the liposuction. Because, like, I've had clients who got super sculpted and they're like, I actually didn't want this. I thought it was going to be a little bit more modest.
But that happens, like we've said, you're not meeting with them repeatedly. A lot of this is going to happen like as you're headed in, almost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can shoot over some of these files via email to the
Mhm.
surgeon, same page, or if not, worst case scenario, stop to have these honest conversations, and they don't take long for you all to align the
Yeah.
day of market up. What else are some other things in helping clients? Questions to ask your anesthesiologist or information you need to share with your anesthesiologist. If you are a nicotine consumer, you want to stop smoking and consuming nicotine. I know surgeons will tell clients like 30 days before. You want to give your body the best experience. We usually encourage clients to stop 3 months before. But I know that that's a harder transition. But the nicotine causes more bleeding and a longer recovery time.
Yeah. Mess with your wound healing, for sure.
Now, if you are a cannabis that does not negatively affect your journey, but that's something you need to communicate for your anesthesiologist. Clients that consume marijuana have a higher sedation level, and they're more prone to waking up if they consume marijuana. So just share that with your surgeon. And then no matter what you're smoking or inhaling, that should stop. You should stop that until at least 3 weeks after the procedure, if not longer. Let's see, you're getting ready. So there's 8 stages of a cosmetic self-love journey that we'll take clients on when we go their consultation. And so phase 1, you've already done. That's picking a doctor and picking a procedure. You know the procedures you want to get, and you know who you want to get it from and who your surgeon is going to be. Not everybody knows that. And depending on their foundation, what their end goals are, there may be a bigger conversation of you can have whatever you want and you can have it however you want, but you may not be able to have it in one round of surgery. Like, some things just aren't safe to combine and do all of this in one. So some clients might have to prep to have 2 rounds of surgery and then just budget and plan out their look amongst their ongoing aesthetic journey. Phase 2, phase 1, not every doctor is good with every single foundation, right? Like, you have a nice build, you are closer towards the candidate and the ideal client. But if a client is too skinny, depending on how they want to look, some clients need to gain weight, or other clients, they need to lose weight and start doing some strength training to tighten and tone that loose skin. Liposuction does not address loose skin, it actually creates it. By having clients in compression, it helps those skin layers reattach and encourages skin retraction to minimize that. But when you're older, your elasticity is not the same, collagen production isn't the same, and so we need just a little bit more, and that's addressed during your post-operative journey. But you plan all of this out in your phase 1 of your entire. Phase 2 is budgeting. A lot of people will under budget for their procedure. If your procedure is $8,000, you do not save $8,000. You don't $10,000. Our rule of thumb is that you should look to save 45% of the cost of your procedure plus the cost of your procedure. Just for fun number's sake, let's say your procedure is $10,000, you should look to save $14,500. That includes your pre-op, your supplies, your travel, your surgery itself, your meds, other costs, your luggage, your food afterwards. Dude, healthy food is expensive.
Yeah.
But just looking at all those different things and taking them in consideration, adjusting your budget accordingly. And how long will it? I don't like doing things from debt. And so if it takes you, like, looking at how long is it going to take to save up the money that I need, and wind up not needing it, use it and go buy new clothes, right? Treat yourself to a little mini shopping spree. Before I continue, I have the whole thing planned out. Are there any specific questions that you have that you wanted to address over for your
Um,
phase 3 is your labs and your clearances. So you have to get cleared before you get, if you're having surgery in the country, they clear you well in advance. If you're having surgery out of the country, most countries that I've seen, like, they'll have some pre-clearance and stuff, but most of the time they do all of their tests on site and they clear you 2 to 3 days before your surgery. So if you're ever having surgery out of the country, you need to be your tip top at, because if not, you will not be. But your standard labs and your clearance, your iron levels, if you're having one procedure done, they need to be about 11 or 11 and a half. And one procedure means you're only getting your boobs worked on. That's it. Or you're only getting liposuction. You, for example, you're having what's called a combo procedure. Anytime that more than one area of the body is being worked on, your iron levels have to be higher. So you should aim to have your iron be between a 12 to like a 14. That's the range that you want to, like, you your day. But they'll test your iron. Some surgeons will test, especially if you're getting your boobs worked on, they may have you do a chest X-ray or a mammogram.
check.
They have, yeah. They'll do your blood work and check, like, your different levels. Just super, super standard stuff. If you're having surgery out of the country, they'll also include a respiratory test to check to see your VO max and how much you can actually blow out. Now, if you, some facilities are improving their surgical clearances in their labs. And if you have any, like, complications, or if you have any contraindications, if you have any conditions that you're treated for, they will usually need a clearance letter from that specialist. So if you have a cardiac condition, it doesn't mean you can't have the surgery. You just have to get a clearance from that specialist to say that you're healthy enough for that surgery. If you have a blood condition, they'll send you to a blood specialist. Something else that a lot of people don't find out until the final hour is, if you have ever been treated for an addiction, you'll have to get a mental clearance. Addiction from substance abuse, from alcoholism, or if you've ever been treated for depression. And then the other one is domestic violence. Any of these things, because surgery may unfortunately be triggering for that stuff. And so your labs and your clearances, you're good to go. You move on to the next phase and the next step. Your phase 4 are your accommodations and your care. So where are you staying and who's taking care of you? And I'm going to toss that back to you, Heather. After, do you stay in the hospital at all? Do they release you after you get out of recovery? How long are you staying in recovery? Who's taking you to surgery?
Yep. Well, luckily I have family. I'm gonna get a ride. One's dropping me off, wheeling me in, and one's picking me up. And I'm staying at my mom's house, so I'm pretty lucky because they'll be busy.
Very
But
good, very good.
yeah. So I'm good.
The distance, how far is your surgery center from where you're?
Close. Very close. On
Okay.
20 minutes max.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm lucky with that, but I know people have to like get in a car and take a ride or get on a plane. That seems like it would be difficult. So,
Yeah. Well, pause. Going back home after you have surgery, it is not to hop on a flight within 4 days of having the surgery. Like that's at minimum. Anything else is gonna be a risk and a compromise of your health and your safety. So just shooting that out there.
yeah. And
Ideally,
I mean,
7 days.
even regular surgery, when we're letting people go from the hospital, if it's more than an hour away, we're telling people you got to get out and walk. Like you can't ride the whole way home. You got to like get up, move around, make plans to stop.
Now, with you being 20 minutes away, that ride could turn into like 25 to 30 minutes. One time, right? Traffic. But the other thing, dude, after you have surgery, you're in the car, you feel everything. All holes, all the pebbles. So you're gonna want to tell your person, like, even though I know you want to get home, but just depending on how you feel, and you know immediately. Like if you're once you get in the car, everyone heals differently from surgery. And then from one procedure to the next, like you could have been fine the first time, and then if you have a round two, like it just feels different. Assess how you feel once you get in the car and y'all start taking off. Feel empowered to tell your driver, I need you to slow down just a little bit. I need you to go more gently or avoid these potholes, like no weird, crazy lane shifts. Like, just need some the car will hurt your body right after surgery.
We are
So
a family of like car sickness, so we we have no problem being like, "Whoa, hold the phone."
I all drove like and I don't know if it's true or not. From my experience, it has been, but New Yorkers drive crazy. So I didn't know if like you had like New York family drive.
No, we're good. But I'm definitely grabbing one of those. They make now like these little plastic puke bag to go things. I'm definitely hijacking one of those.
Sickness, it'll buy it. Um, nah, and you're staying with mom, you're staying with family. Typically, people are going to need a little bit more assistance the first 48 hours. After that, like you'll get into the groove of I got thisness. Just don't overdo it. Give yourself grace and have some balance with letting people love you, letting people help you, and having a really strong support system. Like those first hours is imperative. you know, Follow all of your medication instructions and orders, stay on top of your. We usually tell people to walk every 4 hours, but you're a PT, stuff like this.
I tell people to get up every hour.
Well, shit, you're a hard.
Well, I'm a PT. That's what we do.
It was
Not not like you gotta go walk around the block, but like you gotta get up. Like keep drinking, get up, get what you need yourself. Like you can't just lay there.
And something else that's really helpful with the microcirculatory is fluctuating the temperatures of your drinks. So you get some hot liquids once an hour or every other hour. It'll naturally stimulate the lymphatic system. Drinking something super ice cold will have a similar effect. So just shocking your lymphatic system throughout the day will help with that microambulation. All right, we're gonna move on phase 5. Phase 5 are your supplies and your prep. This is your like super prep stage. You're putting down your deposits. You're figuring out who's taking care of you post-op. You're looking and you're taking you're taking your pre-op photos. Because the scale lies. So like sometimes it's better to gauge it visually. I love telling something called a journey dress, where you'll take a picture of yourself in an outfit before surgery, and then 2 weeks after surgery, and then again 4 weeks. Like every 2 weeks, you'll take another picture to see and show you how your body's changing. And CSL has a really in-depth supply list underneath of the for client section. And then also we're building out a new category. We have, it's called the CSL shop. So some of your supplies you can get directly from us or from our preferred vendors from this new category that we're adding onto the website. You can expect to spend anywhere from $250 to $500 on your supplies. Your post-op massages, budget to have, $2,000 to $3,000 for your post-op treatments. And you're going to need to have the schedule. Like, don't go back to work too soon, and need to have the schedule of most people need somewhere between 15 to 30 massages. It just depends on how healthy you are before your surgery. But if you get one of these like really in-depth consultations that we offer, we'll help you put together your post-surgical massage frequency based upon your body and the procedures you're getting. And when we talk about FAHAs, phase 5 is when you're going to start thinking about your FAHA journey. Now, when you're talking about compression, a really great resource that we push people to on YouTube, you have something called Faha University, and there's like 23 videos you can binge watch. They're super helpful, but like they're digestible. It's not too much information. You can take great notes. It answers a lot of questions you didn't even know you had. And like before you get surgery, we really suggest just watching all of these videos. It'll answer, how long do I need to wear my faja? What is a faja? Good fajas, bad fajas, the best type of fajas, the material. Like it just goes through all of these little different nuances about your compression. There's 3 stages of fajas. You're going to be for the duration of your journey in your stage 2 faja. You want to be in a really good quality stage 2 faja by day 7, unless you have some type of complication. If you have some wounds, go get that checked out first. I know that's not going to be experienced. You know what to do. But entire body where you had surgery is a wound. So we can't forego compression just because an area may have opened up. You won't have that with unless it comes to the boobs. I'm gonna come back to those. But once the wounds are being treated, they're under care, and someone's watching and monitoring it. You need to go right back into compression. So we're gonna toss out that idea like, oh, I have a wound, I can't compress. No, it needs to be covered, and but you're still gonna go back to staying in your faja compression. Now, different things like straps and the genital openings, a lot of these are based around preferences. I do not like the garments that have the removable straps because it's not going to give you high back compression, and fluid goes to where compression is not. So you want to have the thicker straps at the top. And as a woman, they support our breast tissue. They help give us a thorough compression from throughout your entire torso length. The genital openings, if you want to have that little piece of fabric covering the vaginal opening, you can. I recommend it. It helps reduce the friction and the irritation, but chafing is a thing, especially if your garment's not fitting correctly. I'm not a huge fan of zippers in the genital area. Parts can get caught up in there. So I'm usually either an open genital, like kind of I'll recommend, or to have just a piece of fabric covering it. But again, it doesn't matter. What does matter, your stage 2 faja needs to separate at the very bottom. There's some that come where from the genital opening up to the very first hook is connected. that will not help you as you continue along your journey. Your waist is going to shrink. Your hips and your butt will not, especially if you get a fat transfer, is going to get bigger. And it becomes harder to pull it up on your lower body. If you have a tummy tuck incision, it causes incisions to open up. It can cause dog ears to develop. Your stage 2 has to completely separate at the bottom, and it makes it easier to pull it up on your legs. But we go through all of these different things, how many rows of hooks you should have, when to get your garment taken in, how much to get it taken in. All of this is covered on Faha University.
Great. I'll post a link for sure.
And then for your boobs, talked about with your you want to make not bunching up underneath of your, especially since you're getting the lollipop. And oh wait, you don't have the under, you just have the circle and the straight down. You don't have the anchor.
But a lot of people get the anchor. So I mean there's that T junction is notorious for issues.
I am not a fan of a lot of things that are popular, but I'm not a fan of it because I believe in science, not fads. And with science, we know pursing indentations the first 8 weeks of your journey. And so those faja shorts and bra, not a fan of it for the first 8 weeks. That's it. Like afterwards, go be great. I don't care. But it will create underlying compression, adhesion lines that will develop and show up later in your journey. And they're a dead giveaway that you had surgery. It just doesn't make your lipo results look good. If you're getting lipo, stay away from waist trainers. You need to get out of a medical binder by day 3. You need to be at least in a stage 1 faja. Those medical binders are outdated, especially for the amount of liposuction people are getting. Just no indentations, right? You need your foams, you need your ab board. All of that is on Faha University too. But you and your boobs, you want to get a really good supportive compression bra, not a sports bra, something that's going to help to counteract the effects of gravity. And then the straps are going to support that weight, so it's not putting that weight on your incision. They will open back up. So a great compression bra. Have several of them. You know, these are like underwear now, and you don't sit in your underwear more than 2 days. Just a really good supportive compression bra that is snug. If you move, your boobs like in place. They should move with you. It shouldn't be a bouncing effect. You want no ballistics there. Phase 6 is your lifestyle shifts. How are you changing? What are you eating differently? You know, how are you moving differently? How are you thinking differently? And just adjusting those. I think from your experience and provider, you may have those on lock, but I'm going to send you that section so you can just review on your own and double check any things that you may not have already covered. So you walk into mentally, physically, emotionally your best before you have your surgery. Phase 7 is perioperative. They usually tell you what time to be at the OR. Don't be late. Account for traffic if there is traffic. And figure out what questions you want to ask your anesthesiologist. But I think we went over a lot of those. And then your phase 8 is called your maintenance phase. You will stay in that phase. Your body will continue to remodel for the rest of your life unless you get another surgery. And for phase 8, outside of what we have in our consultation workbook, we tell people to go to Timeout Post-Op Corner. It's a Facebook group. It's meant for phase 8 for you to ask these thousands of ongoing questions. If something pops up, you're like, what is this? I didn't plan that. Is this normal? Is this okay? What do I do? How do I pee? When can I get in a bathtub or go to the pool? Or when can I? All of those ongoing questions, we have a support group just for clients, because you can only plan but for so much. You don't know what the body's going to do until it does it.
Yep. Yeah. Wow, so much information. You're just a wealth of knowledge. I will definitely like share all of this and add links and put everything wherever people are finding this. Was there anything else we wanted to chitty chat about right now?
I'm a God girl, so like I toss in prayer with everything. You know, prayer does not hurt right before your surgery, and Be optimistic. Clients heal better and faster when they have a positive mindset and outlook on this. But no, I think you've covered so much of it. But that really does speak to just your commitment to this profession, and now just shifting gears to see, how it is as a client. But we're always here to support you. You have my number if you have any questions. And I'm just excited for you to go through this experience and get closer to your body goals.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. All right. I'll post links. Thank you so much. If you have a wound issue, you can reach out to me, betterwounds.com/shop, and there's a link for everything, and you can use code podcast for a discount. But talk to you soon.
Bye.